to your home. Zero Res will take care of your carpets, upholstery, tile, area rugs, and air ducts. So if you're bringing a special someone over for that candlelight dinner, they won't be sneezing dusty air or asking about that nasty stain by the coffee table. Zero Res has a 4.9 rating on Google reviews, and their gotta love it guarantee makes it easy to get what you pay for. Ask for the AM 950 special and get 20% off all cleaning services in February. So don't wait. Call 952-ZERO-RES or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com. That's 952-ZERO-RES or visit ZeroResMinnesota.com to schedule your appointment anytime. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
There are things that we experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in a corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us, share your story, share your evidence, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is Ghostbox Radio.
This is Ghostbox Radio on AM 950, where every week we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, or just the unusual. My name is Char Savoie, filling in for Greg Bakken this week. Thank you for joining me today. Greg is off on some amazing paranormal adventures and asked me to fill in for him while he is away. Besides being a paranormal investigator myself, I'm also an energy healer, intuitive, and medium, and I am the owner of Charvinity. You can find out more about me, my services, and products on my website, www.charvinity.com. Today, I am so excited to welcome Maria Shaw and Joe Lawson to Ghostbox Radio. Maria is one of the country's top astrologers. Her horoscopes reached 61 million people as TV Guide's channel on-air host. She recently was a cast member of the 90 Day Fiancé on TLC, and she writes weekly horoscopes for the National Enquirer and Soap Opera Digest. She's the author of 9 books published in 7 languages. Maria's appeared on VH1, Oxygen, CBS, NBC, ABC, and as well as Fox News. And Joe is the lead investigator for Lawson Paranormal, the former co-host with Maria Shaw on Psychic Radio. Lawson has done some investigations throughout the U.S., including Gettysburg, Salem, Massachusetts, the Lizzie Borden House in Fall River, Massachusetts, as well many returns to Eastern State Penn in Pennsylvania and Pennhurst Asylum. Maria and Joe, welcome to Ghostbox Radio.
Thank you so much. We're so happy to be here.
Your intro sounded a lot better than mine. I didn't write enough stuff.
Well, thank you so much. Before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that's listening, you can, if you would like to call in and ask a question to Joe and Maria live on the air, you can call 952-946-6205. Or you can email a comment at the station for comment@am950radio.com. I also want to remind everybody we are live on AM 950 Radio, but also streaming video on the following Facebook pages. You can watch us on the AM 950 Facebook, plus Things Network, Paranormal, United Network, Minnesota Ghostbox, and as well as my page, Charvinity. Feel free to leave comments there for Maria and Joe as well, and I will do my best to monitor them throughout the show. All right, so I know we had a little bit of conversation before this. We talked about how astrology and the paranormal can go hand in hand. And I love how you two intertwine this. And I would really love to dive in a little bit deeper about this. Can you guys share just a little bit about what each of you do and how you do connect them?
Well, I'm a psychic medium and an astrologer. And I met Joe when we were working at WICD in Detroit. And I had a talk show there, and he was hired as the producer of the show. And we had found that we had done a lot of similar things as far as investigations, had a lot of similar interests. And we started working together, and he would use me as a piece of his equipment with quotations and marks around it.
You're my favorite piece.
To pick up on, paranormal entities and things and different investigations that he did. So, I mean, he has all of the equipment, all the expensive equipment, but he does use me an awful lot to see what I pick up. And then he verifies what I'm picking up after with the equipment and with the historian that takes us on the tour, or that we always have a history tour and a history talk before his events, and so that way I'm able to confirm. I also look at the chart of the event place or the venue or the house or the haunted area, and see if there's if there was a murder there. A lot of times I'll do the chart when the murder occurred, like with Lizzie Borden. I believe it was on a full moon in August.
Well,
wasn't
I think that's really where it began, where we started intertwining the two theories, because that was 15 years ago now, when we first did the Lizzie Borden house in Fall River, Massachusetts. We had did the tour. Maria and I had just went by ourselves. It was a totally last second thing. We didn't even know whether we were going to go there. We ended up staying in Lizzie's room, or no, it was the mother's room, stepmother's room, wasn't it?
Abby's.
Yeah, Abby's room. And we ended up staying in that room. And as we're doing the tour, they're explaining to us, how, because Leanne, who, God rest her soul, is no longer with us,
right.
She was the owner of the home. She had knew who we were from Psychic Radio. So when we got there, she kind of shuffled everybody out of the way and gave us our own private tour. And she was explaining what happened the night of the murders and the day before the murders. And Maria started asking questions about Lizzie. Now, Lizzie was a Cancer, and
she was born in July.
Yes, and she had said the night before the murders, Lizzie and her stepmother hated each other, and Lizzie and her sister had gotten written out of the will the night before the murders. And Maria had asked, she said, well, what sign is Lizzie? When was her birthday? And she said, well, she was a Cancer, and her birthday was July?
I want to say the end of July, or close to the 3rd week of July. Yeah.
And she said, huh. And so Maria looked it up there and then, and come to find out that the night of the murders and the night before was a full moon, which, how does that affect Cancers?
Well, Cancers are ruled by the moon. They're more sensitive. A lot of us go nutty around full moons. There's more babies being born. There's more murders being occurred. The hospital emergency rooms are overfilled. People are just, their sensitivities are more heightened during full moons. And so her being a Cancer, she's ruled by the moon. Her sensitivities probably were over the top. And Cancer rules home and family. So if you're going to mess with Cancer's home and disown her from what should rightfully be hers, that would definitely, along with the full moon, put her over the top. So a lot of times I'll look at the dates of the murders. I'll look at the charts, the astrology charts of the victims, as well as the perpetrators. And then I always try to find a good day when Joe's scheduling his events, a good astrological day when the veil is thinner, for him to do these events, because we want to go around the country wherever he plans and take the groups with us when it's the best astrological day to be able to connect with spirit. Because sometimes you go and there's not much activity, and other times you go, it's off the charts. And those are the dates we're looking for to take the groups.
And just to wrap up the Lizzie thing, after I found out, I saw Maria's brain ticking on how Lizzie was a Cancer. It was a full moon, and I was kind of questioning her. I was like, well, that's interesting. I said, why would that affect her in possibly being the person who did these events? And she explained to me about, probably Lizzie just lost it after being disowned, and especially getting her, the title and deed taken away from her for the stepmother that she hated. And then that full moon on top of it. And I was like, there's something here.
Right.
There's something here, a combination of the supernatural and people committing crimes on full moons, especially depending on what their sign is. And so we sat down and we did an EVP session, and we did end up talking to Lizzie Borden. And I planted it so that my equipment was in different portions of the house so that it could not be interrupted. And I said, Lizzie, if this is you, then make the REM pod over by the fireplace go off. And it would. And then I said, okay, well, let's just now go into the kitchen and make the other piece I have go off. And it would. So I knew that we were communicating with her, and she fully admitted that she had murdered her stepmother. She didn't hesitate on that one at all, but she wouldn't answer if she killed her father.
Okay. So now, like, you did a chart on Lizzie. Can you do a chart on a location? Like, let's say Gettysburg.
Yeah. Well, what I would do is I would do the chart on the event in Gettysburg, so we would look at when the first shot was fired in Gettysburg. 1863, July, was it the second?
Second, third, and fourth.
The second, third, and fourth.
Right.
To see the energy the energy imprints, the astrological aspects that cause that. And then it would show in that chart, massive destruction, massive death, etc. But I can also do a chart of the town. Each city, each state, each township has an incorporation date. And if you can find that incorporation date, it sets the tone. Sometimes you won't have the time the papers were signed, but at least you can have the day where the moon was, the sun, and the other planets. Then you can find out if that town's going to prosper, if that town's going to fail, if the people in the town, what type of people gravitate toward that town, and also if a town has haunted tendencies, because some places around the world are like a magnetic pole, have ley lines, etc., for haunted activity. Like we live in New Orleans. We actually live in the French Quarter, which is very, very haunted.
Right.
It has two city charters. One is Taurus. The other is Scorpio. And Scorpio rules the dead. It's ruled by the planet Pluto, which rules the underworld and the dead. That's why you see so many ghost stories from here. Of course, it's an old city and nothing changes. You can't change anything here. You can't paint your house a different color. A lot of the homes are from the 1800s. So you look at the state and the city and the incorporation date, if you can find it. It can tell you a lot. St. Paul, Minnesota, is Gemini, I believe.
That makes a lot of
Gemini
sense.
the twin cities.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Well, and then that's interesting too. So then, now I know like planets, when they do their returns, we're not always going to have, like we're having a Pluto return for the United States coming up, but we're not always going to have that back. But are there certain planets when they come back and return in that location or in that chart that you did, does that ramp things up as well?
Yes, it can. It can reactivate what is laid dormant.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
So if you have, so that's why a lot of people will go back and return and book out the room at the Lizzie Borden house, Lizzie's room, or the murder room specifically, on August 4th. August 4th every year, that murder room is sold out, sometimes years in advance.
Right.
Because the energy comes back to that original energy. There's a solar return every year. And then especially, and not every year is there a full moon on that time, because the moon shifts every 2.25 days, and it's a whole configuration. But the sun will always return to its natal position the day before, the day of, or the day after. So it certainly can.
Awesome. All right, we're going to take our first break here, and when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Maria Shaw, renowned astrologist, author, and TV host and star, along with her husband, Joe Lawson, lead investigator for Lost and Paranormal. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
You may not think of it, but winter is a great time to take care of those exterior home projects. This is Chad, owner of AM 950 for Snap Construction. Most people wait until the warmer months for their exterior home projects, but labor costs are actually lowest in the winter. And that's true for the contractor I trust, Snap Construction. Arguably the most well-reviewed exterior contractor and insulation contractor in the metro. Are you noticing ice dams on your house, or is your furnace constantly running and you're still not comfortable? In addition to your exterior home projects, winter is also a great time to get your insulation checked with a free energy audit from Snap Construction. The average cost to upgrade your insulation is oftentimes less than a new furnace. Plus, there are rebates available from your energy provider when you upgrade your insulation. As always, Snap Construction stands by their work with a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. So don't wait for prices to rise in the warmer months. Get a free estimate now by calling 612-333-SNAP, 612-333-SNAP, or go to snapconstruction.com.
Victor's 1959 Cafe on Grand Avenue is a little piece of Cuba right in South Minneapolis. All of your Cuban favorites are there, like the mango pancakes, sandwich cubano, eggs Havana, Cuban pork barbecue sandwich, and more. Victor's has their dining room open for seating with no reservations required. Plus, they still do takeout and delivery. So have the taste of authentic Cuban cuisine at Victor's 1959 Cafe, located off of 38th and Grand in South Minneapolis. More at victors1959cafe.com.
Hello, this is Ellie Krug with Ellie 2.0 Radio. Now my show will be on Saturdays from 10 to 11 and replayed on Sundays from 1 to 2. You will get to the best of Ellie 2.0 with talking about idealism, with guests who come in and who are idealistic, who are trying to change the world, and you will get me super idealist. Tune in. We can't wait to hear from you, and you'll hear from me. Saturdays from 10 to 11.
Seward Co-op is now offering convenient self-serve and prepackaged hot options and salad bars at both the Franklin and Friendship stores. Breakfast items available daily until 11 a.m. and brunch served all day every Sunday. Their weekly lunch and dinner menus highlight cuisines from around the world. They offer vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free options daily. 95% of the ingredients used are organic from small-scale, local community food producers whenever possible. More at seward.coop.
I'm Candy Brothel, publisher of the Twin Cities edition of Natural Awakenings magazine and host of Green Tea Conversations, a new show for people who are on a journey to take responsibility for their health and play a more active role in their family's well-being. Join me every Sunday at 10 a.m. as I interview local experts who share the latest in natural holistic approaches in a fun and informative way. So grab a cup of tea and join the conversation as we awaken to natural health. Visit us at naturaltwincities.com.
And welcome back to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950. My name is Char Savoie, filling in for Greg Bakken this week. Thank you for joining me and my amazing guests today, Maria Shah, one of the country's top astrologists, author, TV host, and reality TV star, and her husband, Joe Lawson, who is the lead investigator for Lawson Paranormal. Again, if you have a question for Maria or Joe or myself, you can call us at 952-946-6205. And I also want to mention that you can connect with Maria on Facebook. She's under the French Quarter Medium. Her website is mariashaw.com. And be sure to look her up. Be sure to sign up for her newsletter. I follow that constantly, and I love it. And on TikTok, she is under the 90-Day Fiance Psychic Maria. And you can follow Joe on Facebook. Welcome back, you guys.
Thank you.
All right, so we kind of talked a little bit about the charts and places and things like that. And you did mention something about house addresses. How does that play a role in paranormal activity?
Well, what I do is I reduce your house address down to a single digit. So you add your address together and you want to reduce it to a single digit between 1 and 9. And in theory, the number 9 house, which is the one that Joe and I live in, the address reduces to a 9, is the haunted house. It is the house that you will very likely have paranormal experiences in, that you will have ghosts attracted to it. You'll have unusual things happen. And it will, a lot of times will be an older home. And if it's a newer home, it's usually built on some type of Indian burial ground or something. So it's very important if you do buy a home or thinking about buying a home that's a number 9 house, that you investigate the history of the house to make sure there was no terrible, tragic murder on it or what have you. But if you are a number 9 life path, like I am, you thrive in a number 9 house. The ghosts here don't bother me. They're very friendly. We know how to move and get rid of energy if we don't like certain energy. So we have 2 or 3 ghosts that reside here with us. Of course, the house is built in 1832 that we don't have a problem with. But we know before we get into any house that we buy, we always look at the address. And so we know what the numerology of and the energy is of.
That is so fascinating. I love that. My house is a 6, so I guess I'm okay.
Yes, houses that are 6s are usually pretty sturdy houses. You could have a lot of longevity in them. You would tend to stay for a while. They're usually a good investment. But people in 6s will tend to be pretty. The house will give you an energy of stability and longevity.
Yay! Awesome. And then I also know that you mentioned that certain, when you're talking about protections and things like that, certain astrology signs might want to be a little bit more cautious about the paranormal. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, there are certain signs that are more susceptible to picking up energy. We all are susceptible to that, but there are certain signs that the spirit, both higher vibration and lower vibration, can attach itself easier to. And one of those signs is Pisces. And those are the folks that are born in late February, March. And Pisces, they're a water sign. They're ruled by Neptune. So there's no boundaries. They're very open. And they're like a sponge. They soak things in. So they can sense and feel things. And a lot of times they can get attachments. And then Libra is another one that could easily get an attachment. They have to be extra careful if they're doing any investigations, if they're spending too much time in haunted areas, if they live close to a cemetery, a hospital. And you got to remember, it may not be your house that's causing maybe some of the paranormal activity. If you experience that, it may not be your house address or your house. It may be the surrounding area. So if you live next to a graveyard or a hospital, or where there's a lot of accidents in that area, that could also produce that energy.
And why are Libras? I know you talked about the Pisces part, but what makes a Libra susceptible to being attached?
It's a jewel sign, and it's an air sign.
Okay.
And it is a sign that is not fixed. Fixed signs like Scorpios and Leos and Tauruses and Aquarians are more guarded. They're not necessarily as open. They're friendly, but they may be more fixed in putting themselves out there. They're going to be a little more guarded as far as their personality.
Okay, that makes total sense. Now, what about if somebody had, not everybody might understand this or know this, but like you have your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. What if you had a Pisces or a Libra in like your rising or your moon sign? Are you still going to be in that category?
You could be, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just not as much as if it was your sun sign.
Yeah, if it's your ascendant, your rising sign, let's say, is Pisces, that represents the physical body.
Mm-hmm.
So you could get a physical attachment. If you have a moon sign, which represents your emotions, your feelings, then you could have, you could you could have emotional issues if you spend too much time. A house could weigh you down. It could weigh you down emotionally if you spend too much time in a haunted area.
Okay, that makes sense. Any other sign that should be wary of anything when they get into the paranormal?
Maybe Cancer. It's a water sign, so they sense things and they feel things very deeply. The psychic signs are Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancers, but Scorpio's fixed. They're not going to let anybody mess with them. Although Scorpio, out of all the signs in the zodiac, is ruled by ghosts and the paranormal and the afterlife, because they're ruled by Pluto. And so Scorpios, the veil is thinner from here to the other side for those signs, or for that sign. They tend to see spirit more often, tend to have dreams of lost loved ones, and can sense ghosts. I bet you every Scorpio that's listening right now has probably had a paranormal experience, and it's because they're more sensitive to that. Cancers feel things. They're not so much into the ghost, but because they're sensitive to their surroundings, they're more apt to pick up on things too. But Scorpio is the one that is ruled by ghosts and paranormal, so they're going to have those experiences or be drawn to those experiences most of their lives.
Okay. Awesome. And I did have a couple people, they got really interested in the house number thing. Is there any other house number that they should worry about? I know you said the 9. I had a couple people asked about a 3. And I'm going back here. People were throwing up numbers. Is there anything you want to comment that they should be concerned about as far as haunting?
9 is the haunted house.
Right.
9 is the one that you want to stay away from. 5 is a house that changes a lot. Like you'll probably move, or you'll make a lot of changes in the house.
Okay.
It's not gonna be a stable house. It's the party house. It's the fun house, but there's not a lot of stability. 7 is a spiritual house. I started my spiritual work when I lived in a number 7 address, and a lot of spiritual things happen there. It's also a good investment. 8 is the money house. If you can, and Joe and I both, we have a house that's a number 8 that we bought a couple of years ago up north, and we know that's going to be a good investment for us, and that will make a profit on it and big money. Because if you buy a number 8 address or number 8 house, you're going to make money on that house. It's a money maker for you, or you could make money in it if you had a home-based business.
I might need to
2
move.
is good for marriage.
Okay.
So if you're looking to get married and you're single and you move into a number 2, the house is going to support you finding that partner. If you're married, it's good for the couple to feel connected.
Okay.
A 1 house usually has to do with a new beginning. If your address reduces to a 1, it's very likely that you started when you moved into the house, there was a new beginning of some sort of marriage, a divorce, a new job, or money, whatever. You had to have a baby or had a baby, so you had to have a bigger house.
Okay.
And then 3 is about communication. It's a house that there's going to be a lot, like TVs in every single room. There's going to be a lot of activity, lots of phone, lots of neighbors, lots of people coming over. And 4 is the family house. 4 is the house that you can raise a family in. That's a good foundation.
Okay, we'll come back to this in a second. We're just going to take a real quick break here. When we come back, I want you to finish that, and we're also going to talk about your event that you have coming up next weekend here in the Twin Cities. So if you're in the local area, you do not want to miss this. We'll be right back on Ghostbox Radio.
Have you heard about the District Edina? Well, if you haven't, you're in for a treat. The District Edina is the Twin Cities' newest and most exciting destination for all things home design and remodeling. If you're looking for flooring or window treatments, furnishings, a builder to handle a remodel or an addition, kitchen or bath work, or even original fine art, you will find it at the District Edina. The District Edina, 7777 Washington Avenue South, and online at, wait for it, thedistrictedina.com.
This is Angela Warner with Warner Stellian. As a mother of 5, believe me, I'm all about getting the best deals. I'm always looking for a way to save money without compromising on quality. I guess it runs in the family, because at Warner Stellian, we have a team of buyers who are obsessed with getting appliance deals that no one else has. Like right now, we have thousands of appliances in stock at the best price. Then we give you an extra 5% back and fast free delivery. Put us to the test and see for yourself at our 10 Minnesota stores and at warnerstellian.com.
Hi, this is Laura. Listen to Food Freedom Radio every Saturday at 8 a.m. or anytime via podcast. Our individual health is connected to the health of each other and connected to the health of the earth. We know the problems with the dominant food system: climate change, deadening soils, nitrates in the water, factory farming, injustice, concentration of wealth. How do we both as individuals and as a community step up and support a living food system which honors the earth? Tune to Food Freedom Radio every Saturday at 8 a.m. and remember to support your independent farmers.
You may be into punk rock, soft rock, or classic rock, R&B, hip-hop, or house, country, techno, or techno-country. But no matter what kind of music you listen to, here's something else you should hear. Please consider getting vaccinated. Talk to your pharmacist today about Comirnaty, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA. This message brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Hi, this is Frank Brown, owner of Minuteman Press Uptown, Minnesota's only minority-owned union printing company. But we are not just another print shop. We are a marketing and promotion company that has over 100 years of experience in helping clients not only with their printing needs, but also with their marketing strategies. We offer marketing ideals for clients from targeted direct mailings to digital geofencing. I am passionate about helping businesses grow.
Frank and his team at Minuteman Press Uptown have been great to work with. They always come with fresh marketing and promotion ideas that help us grow. But that is not the only reason I choose to work with them. Check out their Google reviews. I choose Minuteman Press Uptown because they match the values of AM 950. They pay above livable wages, stand up for social, racial, and economic justice. Call Minuteman Press Uptown at 612-870-0777 or visit mpuptown.com. See the difference they can make with your company. They print everything.
They'll challenge your authority because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory. And in here, your word is law. So when you say you won't move until everyone's buckled up, you won't budge an inch until you hear that click. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup.
Recently, Greg had Ernie and Denise Pack on from Pac-Man Paranormal talking about their work along with others to save Waverly Hills. I urge everyone to seek out that episode from January 16th and listen to what's going on at Waverly Hills and to also support them in their endeavor. Go to SaveWaverlyHills.com and sign the petition, and please consider making a donation via their GoFundMe page there. Please also share out the webpage, SaveWaverlyHills.com. As I said at the top of the show, I am Char Savoie, filling in for Greg Bakken this week. I am a certified Reiki Master, intuitive medium, metaphysical instructor, and paranormal investigator. You can find out more about me and what I do at charvinity.com. And also, if you miss Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken Live, AM 950 replays these episodes Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, or you can listen anytime by going to Spotify or iTunes. After listening, please be sure to leave Greg a positive review for his show. I would totally appreciate that. Welcome back to our guest today, renowned astrologist Maria Shaw and her husband and paranormal investigator, Joe Lawson. Welcome back, you guys.
Thank you.
So I know I had to cut you off there a little bit. I think you were on house number 4 if you wanted to finish off with that one in case somebody missed it.
Yep, and house number 4 is great for families. It's a good foundation building house. You'll probably be in there a while, but it supports the family life.
Perfect. Thank you. Now, I really want to talk about, you have an event coming up next weekend here in the Twin Cities, and I'm really excited for that. If you would like to fill everybody in on what's happening that weekend.
Yes, we're going to be doing the Winter Wonderland Minneapolis Psychic Fair and Convention, and it's going to be at the Marriott Minneapolis Airport Hotel, which is actually right across from the Mall of America, and it's in the South Loop District on it's at 2020 American Boulevard East in Bloomington. And we're going to have about 20 psychics and healers there for the psychic fair portion, and that runs 9 to 5. It's $10 admission, and you can come in and choose from a variety of psychics or healers, and it's $20 for a reading. We're also going to have all of our gemstones that we brought back from Tucson, our gemstones and crystals. We were just at the Tucson Gem Show, so we're bringing a cargo van of crystals. And then I will be teaching classes both Saturday and Sunday. We're going to have a crossing over gallery where I connect with people from the other side and deliver messages to the audience. I will have an astrology class, the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, where we're going to talk about this aspect in layman's terms and how it's going to affect you. That aspect has not been around for 165 years, so it's a big thing. I'm going to also be having a Talk with the Angels class, and there will be a class on what's holding you back in life, what's tripping you up, what are some of the things that your zodiac sign contains as far as characteristics that could sabotage your progress. And so we're going to talk about that and how to fix those and heal those. And a lot of people have relationship stuff. So I don't know if too many people knew this or not, but Virgos and Cancers tend to draw narcissists. They tend to draw relationships that are very narcissistic. So we're going to talk about all the different signs, what they tend to draw, what they tend to do to trip themselves up, and how to make that correction. So we have a lot of wonderful classes over the weekend, and those are included in our weekend pass. And I guess we're going to be giving away some passes to the listeners today.
Yes. So for our listeners that will be in the area for the event and would like to have those free passes that Maria is offering, you can message her at the French Quarter Medium, Maria Shaw, on Facebook. Or they can email her at askmariashaw@aol.com. But we're only going to give away 20 sets of tickets, correct?
That's right. We're going to give away 10 tickets for 2. So if you, whoever's the first people that email me at ask a question, askmariashaw@aol.com, or you can private message me at French Quarter Medium Maria Shaw. And sometimes the messages go into like a box I don't see. So if you don't hear from me tonight or tomorrow, please reach out in a different way, or keep knocking on my door till I hear you.
Yes, and I've been to your events, and I think they're so informative. Just so much information, and you have such amazing, beautiful crystals and all kinds of stuff to see. So it's very worth taking the time out next weekend to head on over there and check out that for sure. And the one thing I really love about you, Maria, is like you make astrology easy. Like I can understand it.
Oh, thank you. I try, because it really is like a foreign language. So if I were to say, well, your moon conjuncts Venus, but it's opposed by, Mars, you have no idea what that's going to mean.
I feel like I'm back in math class.
I'm going to speak in layman's terms. I'm going to say, your moon conjuncts Venus, which is a really nice energy. You probably have really good relationships with women. Women will go to bat for you, but your relationships with men may be a little shaky. So, I'll explain that in layman's terms.
Yeah, no, I love it, and I've been following you for quite a while. I watch your newsletters. I wait for them, and it's funny. For the last couple of years, I was like, what does Maria say now? Because I'll be walking, what's going to happen this week. We all got to be careful, like telling everybody what to look for. So I really do appreciate your newsletters and all the information that you give out. It's fantastic. And I have gotten into astrology lately, and I truly feel like astrology is the guidebook to life. I mean, you literally can learn so much about what's happening and about yourself, and it's very empowering.
Yeah, it's a map of your life. We're all born with a birth chart, so to speak, which is a map of our life. The art's in the interpretation, but it is a science. It can tell us a lot about ourselves in our past lives. It can tell us about where we are now. It can tell us about our future, and it can also tell us if someone passed on, what they're doing in the afterlife.
Interesting.
And what they're likely to be, who they're likely to be, and what their lessons are when they reincarnate into the next lifetime. It's a wonderful tool. And if anybody wants to sign up for my free newsletter, they can do that at mariashaw.com. It has a lot of astrology news in it and forecasts, but also the events of where we're going to be, too.
Awesome. I love it. Now, Joe, let's get you a few words in here. What got you into the paranormal?
Well, the house that I grew up in Pontiac, Michigan was haunted, and it was nothing I could do about it. I tried to, tell my mom and dad, and, they dismissed me at the time. So I would purposely hide behind my door waiting to try to catch it, because what would happen there was I didn't find this out till years later. In fact, until I was a teenager did I find this out, but there had been somebody who had owned the house before us had been stabbed to death on the porch. It was a business person. And what I would hear as a little boy is I would hear these footsteps walk up and down the hallway. And it was a very small house, but they were dress shoes. And my dad at the time worked in a shop, so he always had to have rubber-soled shoes. So I knew it wasn't him. So I would try and catch the ghost. I was never afraid. I wanted to see what it was, and it would always stop at my door. It would walk up and down, and it would stop at my door, and you could hear it breathing. I'd pop the door open, and I could never catch it in time. That's what sparked my interest to begin with, and then I had a series of crazy, weird things happen, including at one point somebody got into the church that we went to, which was literally down the road. And I mean, literally, maybe a block from the house, and he blew up the church with a bomb.
Whoa.
So I had a weird series of events that would follow me. And then as I got to be a teenager, I found that if you took pretty girls out to cemeteries at night, they would hold on to you. And that really sparked my interest, because then chicks were hanging on me. So I was like, there's something to this job.
That's awesome. Now, how long were you investigating before you started incorporating what Maria does with you?
We have been doing this on a more professional level for 15 years, but I have been doing this for over 30.
Wow, nice. And do you notice a difference when she's putting her input in with the astrology aspect?
Absolutely. Whenever Maria and I are together, it's magic. I mean, things just go nuts. I can tell you so many weird, bizarre stories of things that shouldn't be that came up. We did a house in Lansing, Michigan, and I don't remember why we were at the house, whatever the reason was, but we were all taking a break in the kitchen, and Maria, I mean, it's pitch dark. It's in the middle of winter. I can't see out the back door anyway, and I don't know how she knew this, but she was standing there, and she said, it's funny. We're up here talking to the ghost upstairs or whatever it was, and she said, but nobody's mentioned the little girl out by the stream. And I said, what are you talking about? And she said, yeah, there's a little girl there's a stream behind here. And there's a little girl who drowned out there. And somebody comes every year of the anniversary of that girl's death, and they put flowers in the water for her. And the owners just erupted crying. Nobody knew that story.
Wow.
And I mean, she just pulled it out of the air. So I was like, this is just, when we're together, it's just magic.
That's awesome. I love that. What's the other than that, that's a pretty epic story right there. Is there something that was just absolutely like, nope, I'm out, this is too much?
Yeah, no, there was nothing that was nope, I'm out. But I will say the one that absolutely floored me was when we did Eastern State Penitentiary a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Maria and I went down a certain corridor, and she stopped in front of one of the cells, and she said, I don't like this cell. I don't know why, but I don't like this one. And remember, it's pitch black, and I can't see anything except through my night vision. And I said, what's wrong? And she said, I don't know. And as I'm standing there, when you do Eastern State, you have to have one of the people who work there with you so that you're not fussing with anything. Mm-hmm. And as I'm standing there, I'm about to turn to the guy and say something, and I heard an ink pen drop and hit the ground. And I was like, well, I don't have an ink pen in my ear. What the heck was that? So I turned my flashlight on, and I looked down, and all this happened in the span of a second. I hear the gentleman from Eastern State go, that's not possible. And I said, what isn't? And I looked on the ground, and there was a wooden toothbrush that had been filed down into a shiv, had been thrown at me through that cell that she said that she didn't like. He said, we have been through every inch of this entire penitentiary, and we have every article of anything that's ever been in our museum, and that got chucked out and it hit me in the chest. So that was what had happened. I've never seen nothing like that in my life.
Wow. That would kind of take me aback a little bit, I think.
It's in their museum now.
That's awesome. That is super cool. Okay, so I know, Maria, you do have another event coming up the following weekend, and that's in Michigan, correct?
That's right. That's going to be in Lansing, Michigan at the Comfort Inn. And we have a 3-day event there, Friday through Sunday. And that one we have some tickets available for if anybody wanted to fly in or drive in, or anybody listening in the state of Michigan, they wanted to just come in. That's a 3-day event. And Joe's going to be doing an extreme seance at that event. And that's his most popular event that he does at these conventions around the country.
That I almost want to drive to Michigan now.
You might want to.
Oh, if it wasn't winter, I probably would. Who knows what's going to happen in 2 weeks, since we're going to get snow tomorrow. So
yeah, you never know. It's a nice way to beat the winter blast, though. You're around a lot of like-minded people, and everybody checks in Friday morning and checks out Sunday afternoon. And we have fun raffles and readers, and we have readers and speakers from around the country. And we have 2 readers and speakers coming in from Minneapolis, so they're driving in.
Wonderful. Maybe I'll hitch a ride. I'll have to figure out who they are.
There you go.
All right. So, Joe, I want to ask you more about that extreme seance. We're going to go ahead and take our next break here real quick. I just want to remind everybody, if you do have a question, you can call in to 952-946-6205. And I am monitoring the Facebook pages. If you want to throw up a question there, you certainly can. We will be back on Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Hi, Matt McNeil here. Toyota makes the best vehicles on the market today. The Highlander, RAV4, Camry, Sienna, all of their models are sensational, designed for the driver. They're so popular, they're flying off the Rudy Luther lot. Go to RudyLutherToyota.com and find the Toyota vehicle that's best for you. Then head over to the best Toyota dealership in Minnesota, Rudy Luther Toyota. Getting the best vehicle at the best dealership is important. I trust them, period. Head over and find out why you can too. Rudy Luther Toyota, the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Hi, this is Ken Hageland, host of Living Healthy and Aging Well, inviting you to listen to our live call-in talk show airing every Saturday from noon to 1, where we talk about your health and your life and provide insights you need to know to live and age well. Each week we talk with guests who provide answers to important questions regarding health care, elder care, end-of-life care, and self-care for caregivers, and help you and your loved ones plan for the future and enjoy your highest quality of life today. Please join us every Saturday from noon to 1 on AM 950 for Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Hi, everyone. AM 950 is grateful to the listeners who stepped up in the last year and helped support the radio station by becoming members. As we move forward, it's still important to help support small businesses like AM 950. We have memberships at any financial level, either a one-time donation or a recurring one, and we appreciate any support. We've already featured a lot of members-only bonus content like the calendars, but we have more benefits coming soon. To become a member, go to am950radio.com. That's am950radio.com. Click on the Become a Member button and sign up today. Thanks from everyone at AM 950.
Hello, this is Ellie Krug from Ellie 2.0 Radio on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Many listeners know that I train on human inclusivity and on how to be welcoming to diverse humans. Today, organizations of all sizes find that they need to train team members on equity and dismantling racism. I can do that. Many say that my trainings change how they see the world. And now I'm doing all of my work online so everyone can attend regardless of where you're located. For more information, go to elliekrug.com. Thank you. I look forward to hearing from you.
Aho, this is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. On our show, we talk about Native issues like treaty violations, protecting the water, and COVID in our Native communities. Weekly correspondents like Winona LaDue, Dr. Stately, State Senator Mary Kunesh, and Bob Blake update us with Native news that you won't hear anywhere else. Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Join us weeknights from 6 to 7 p.m.
Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. So come check out their pizza and wine bar, or get a treat from the bakery made fresh daily. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout, along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
Next week on Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken, Greg is finally back from his paranormal adventures as he has on psychic medium Patty Negri. Patty is known around the world for her abilities and is a regular on the hit travel channel series Ghost Adventures. It should be a fun episode, so please tune in. So what I would like to do now is, Joe, we kind of talked about your extreme seance that you're going to do in Michigan. Can you explain that a little bit? Because that sounds amazing.
Well, yeah, we use a certain piece of equipment that we have, and I'm not going to say what it is because every time I do, everybody goes out and gets it, and then nobody shows up to my extreme seances anymore. So we're going to keep it quiet for a little bit, but what happens is we use this particular piece of equipment with the group, and this is where the astrology mixes in again with the supernatural, because I've noticed, now Maria, you may have a difference of opinion on this. I notice the people that get the most messages tend to be water signs or have Scorpio moons or water sign moons, things like that.
Yeah, a lot of times it'll be people that have lost somebody where the anniversary of their death or their birthday or the passing, or there's something significant happening in the family. But Joe's right. A lot of the signs that are water signs tend to be quite open.
Fascinating. And Joe, will you ever bring this to Minneapolis?
Absolutely.
Yes. Good, because I will sign up.
We're hoping to get him in Mayor.
We definitely will. We did a test run this past October. It was the first one, and it was so shocking. Even I was shocked. It was so shocking. The next morning, I had people come up to me and tell me, look, I'll pay you to come to my house to do this.
Wow.
I had no idea what was going to happen, and it was just that stunning. So I was like, well, let's do it again and try it again. So once we've gotten our, it was kind of like a test run. This is the real run. So absolutely, I'll take it on the road, yes.
Awesome. I look forward to that. I will be signing up the minute you do. Trust me. Now, Maria, you were on 90 Day Fiancé. How was that?
Oh, it was a ball. I just talked to Stephanie last night. We had so much fun doing that show. We shot on location in Michigan, in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where Stephanie lives. I was supposed to go to Belize, but the COVID restrictions really put a damper on that. She ended up eventually going to Belize to meet Ryan. If you follow the show, you know the characters. But it was great fun. We did a lot of things via Zoom because of the COVID, but it was a really good season. There was a lot of interesting storylines, but I'm a little biased. I will say Stephanie's storyline was probably the most entertaining and unusual that I've ever seen. And I'm a big fan of 90 Day Fiancé. And Stephanie's been my client for many years. I actually 5-6 years before she even did the show, she had no idea what the show was. And I said, I think you're going to be on 90 Day Fiancé. You should be on that show. And then she was asking me about Ryan back then. And she said, is he cheating on me? And I said, I see a girl named Lily and I see a girl named Rose around him right now. Well, Rose is his ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
So she contacted him and she said, Maria said you're messing with Rose, and he got busted. Then we fast forward a couple of years later, she calls me and says, you want to do 90 Day Fiancé? They're picking me and Ryan to do as one of the couples, and the rest is history.
I would say if you're doing some shifty things in a relationship, having a psychic as a friend might get you in a little trouble on the other side there. So figure out what your girlfriend or your boy, who their friends are, because you want to make sure you're on the up and up if you've got a psychic friend over there.
That's true. And both him and if you follow the show, him and Harris, both shifty characters anyhow. I think we could all, you don't need a psychic to tell you that.
Yeah, I'm not a real big reality show, so I didn't watch it, but I did go and watch it for you to see what you were doing, and I was like, wow, that's an interesting storyline. So I did watch that part. Is there any other TV shows coming up that you can talk about?
I'm not scheduled to be on anything right now. I just recently did, my PR agency just recently got me on In Touch, People. I did something with Brandy Glanville from the Housewives franchise. I just recently completed a lot of things, but I don't have anything in the works just yet. We're getting ready for Mardi Gras here, and that's about all we can handle.
Yeah, I've never been to Mardi Gras, and I'm just watching your videos. I'm like, I would love to go one day, so maybe someday. But I did like the parade today. That was amazing.
Yeah, that's our favorite one. Our doggies are sitting here because they've barked for 2 hours during the parade. They're sitting here tired. But what Joe and I are focusing on right now is, pretty much kind of traveling around the country. He's got some big investigations coming up this spring. I'm going to be in Florida, north of Fort Lauderdale, doing a seaside retreat. Of course, we'll be in Minneapolis, next weekend at the Marriott, Minneapolis, and then I'll be in Lansing, Michigan. So pretty much our whole year, we know where we're going. But he's got an interesting investigation coming up in May.
Okay.
Yeah, going back to Pennhurst Asylum there in Spring City, Pennsylvania, which also will coincide with going back to Gettysburg. We always do that, and we mix the two because they're pretty much in the same area.
Nice bucket list items for sure.
No, yeah, it's an exciting one.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I haven't made it out that way yet, so it's on my list of things to do for sure. And then
you know what? The funny thing is a lot of people from Minnesota end up coming to that one.
Really?
It's weird. They'll miss other ones, but they always come to Pennhurst. I don't know why.
Well, we get bored here a lot, and we need to go places. There's not a lot here.
Go ahead.
Oh, there's not a lot here that allows people to go in and investigate. So we kind of have to travel if we're going to do it.
Yeah, and I was going to say that, just to preface it, is that Joe actually, his job, his business is about taking groups. So people can sign up with him to attend these different paranormal investigations he has around the country. I don't know how many seats he has open left or reservations he has left for the one in May, but I know that we do have some people from Minnesota already signed up.
How do they sign up for that?
You just contact me. My Facebook is Joseph Lawson, and you just private message me, and I'll get you the information.
Awesome. You might get an email from me.
Awesome.
All right. And then I know, Maria, you will be back in May, I believe, as well, back into Minneapolis for another event too, correct?
Yeah, the 21st and 22nd, I'll be back at the same location. And then I'm going to be doing talk on entities, how we attract entities, how to remove them from our auric field, from our house, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm also going to be talking about energy vibrations and also the vibration of food. The food that we eat has a frequency. So we want to try to eat as much healthy food as we can to raise our vibration and stay away from the foods that have no vibration that could bring us down. So going to be kind of an interesting weekend. We have a couple different topics, but the one that I think is going to be the most interesting is the one on entities, how we can just pick, and just to give you a quick tip here, when we walk outside, we can pick up things while we're walking everywhere on the soles of our shoes, right? So we come back home, the best idea is to leave your shoes at the door. Don't bring what you brought in from outside into your home. Like in the East, before people go into temples or homes, they take off their shoes. They wash their feet before they go into temples. They don't bring in what they've picked up in the outside. That's probably a good idea to do, but we don't do that in the United States a lot. We just walk in, and I'm guilty of it too, but especially living in places like the French Quarter and some of these old cities, you definitely want to leave your shoes at the door.
Right. Awesome. Well, thank you, Maria and Joe, so much for joining me today. It's been an honor to have you here. Thank you, everyone that joined us as well. And again, Maria Shaw is known as one of the top astrologers. You can find her on Facebook along with Joe if you're interested in what he's doing. And again, please, if you're in the area of Minneapolis, look at her event next weekend. It's amazing. You don't want to miss it. Go to mariashaw.com. Sign up for her newsletter. It's amazing. You will thank me for it later, I guarantee you. This has been Ghostbox Radio with Char Savoie on AM 950. Thank you all for joining me, and Greg will be back next week with his guest, Patty Negri. Take care, everyone.
No matter if you're eating out or cooking something at home, eatlocalminnesota.com has you covered with a list of locally owned restaurants and food purveyors. Many restaurants offer carry-out and delivery, while food purveyors can help you make your